A lovely ball drifted in and finished off. Berardi timed his run to perfection. And he grabs another key international goal. And surely that is the goal that takes Italy to the Final Four.
The Calcio Guys is a weekly podcast by Adreano DiNardo, Gianni Dellacoli, and myself, Nicholas Di Giovanni. We want to bring Calcio back to its roots in our communities and share stories from around the world about why we're passionate about the beautiful game. You can listen to us anywhere where you listen to your podcasts, including Spreaker, Google Podcasts, iTunes, Spotify, iHeart Radio, and Mixcloud. Give us your opinion on social media at The Calcio Guys on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. The intro song is Fireworks by Jazar. Tutti pazzi per gli Azzurri. Everybody's crazy for the Azzurri. Everybody's crazy for the Calcio Guys too, with Gianni Dellacoli, Gianni DiNardo, I'm Nicholas Di Giovanni. So you know it's international break when we're all wearing the same shirts.
Yep, absolutely.
And I mean, besides me, pretty much the same backgrounds. But the Italian national team. What's more to say? It's fun to watch these past two games. Nations League, 2-0 win against Poland, 2-0 win against Bosnia. And on to the Final Four. I don't think they're actually calling it the Final Four. This is not the NCAA. But on to the Final Four, which is going to be held in Italy in a year from now in October in Milan and Torino. So it's exciting times. And I think now it's 22-game winning streak for the Azzurri too.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, for once, we're not strangling each other, which is a plus over here at the Calcio Guys. We're all very passionate about our teams, but we come collectively together when the Azzurri are on, and it's always a great feeling. Like Nick said, these past couple of games, take it with a grain of salt, as we mentioned in shows prior. But it's good that we're on this path onto the Final Four, like Nick said. For the Nations League, I believe with Belgium, Spain, and who is the other team? France.
Yeah.
In the Final Four. So, listen, it's good times for the Azzurri right now. Maybe not the best of times to have this international break that we mentioned in shows past as well, but it's always fun talking Azzurri.
I mean, the quality that we did face wasn't the highest. I mean, Estonia, come on.
Yeah.
But you have to show respect to Poland. You got to show respect to Bosnia. I mean, Bosnia was missing Dzeko because of COVID, so that's something to consider. They did lack a bit of a punch up front. And Pjanic, poor guy, was trying his best with what he had around him, and he couldn't really do much with it. But overall, I was happy with the results, but I feel like as if we can be better. I'll be a bit critical. I think our team can be a bit better.
That's fair.
There was definitely, and it wasn't the prettiest soccer that I've ever watched type of thing. So, yeah, that's my take on it.
And well, I mean, I've mentioned it on this podcast before. You got players from so many different teams that they come together and they only play with each other about 2-3 times. In September, October, November, March, and so. I think it's just a matter of them just building every game together. I like that between the two Nations League games, they kept the same squad besides, Berardi coming in for Bernardeschi, so that really helps build chemistry. And you could tell, I've mentioned it before, the two Sassuolo players, Locatelli and Berardi, they look good together. You saw it on that on the Berardi goal today, the pass from Locatelli. So. You know what? I think those for sure. Locatelli has his spot locked in, and you might as well just say Berardi too. I know we're gonna all talk about Ciccio Caputo as well. If here on the Calcio Guys, we really pull for him too. But out of Sassuolo, I'd love to see Berardi. He was so exciting to watch. Bernardeschi. I find he plays better with the national team than he does with Italy. but he's still not.
I mean, Juventus.
Oh yeah, sorry. Juventus plays better with the national team than Italy. Oh, there would be a problem there. But he's just not that player. They need. Maybe he's a better two-way player than Berardi, but Berardi's he's good attacking, and I find he's one of those players when he has his head in the game, he does well. Because there's been times before, especially I remember with the U21s, where he'd absolutely lose his head, get so frustrated, and that's where he loses concentration. So, I think for the Azzurri, it's a matter of coming to Euros. It's a matter of having those players just step up and concentrate and I guess building that chemistry together. There's going to be World Cup qualifiers in March, so they have time to build that chemistry together again, and then the Euros comes pretty fast in June. But we're going to talk about predicting our squad a bit later on. But for the actual Nations League, as you mentioned, so Belgium, Spain, France. Next October draw is December 3rd. Right now, how important do you think it is that Italy goes out and actually wins the tournament? Do you think it's a high priority thing?
I wouldn't say high priority, but it would definitely be a confidence boost. But the problem is this: if I understood correctly, these finals are taking place in October.
Mm-hmm.
So next year.
Yeah.
So I mean, it comes after the Euros. So I mean, it's not something that can be used as a confidence boost anyways right before the tournament. So, I mean, if anything, they could probably look towards it as a consolation prize if they don't do too well in the Euros. But at the end of the day, it's nothing significant in my eyes. And I was national teams be yeah, we're going to compete for it. But I don't think they're going to put it high on their priority list. I think what they're putting high on their priority list is the Euro Championships, especially with missing out on the 2018 World Cup. They have a bit of a chip on their shoulders that they really want to show the world that that missing out in 2018 was not because of the quality of the team, it was just because of mismanagement.
I don't think they should, just, yes, they got this far, and I don't think they should just not put everything into it. I think it is another tournament. Like you mentioned, Nick, it is another opportunity to, come together and get these experiences. We do have a young squad, give or take, the older veterans in the group. But I think that they definitely should, not take it lightly, and I hope that they can perform. Because at the end of the day, it is another trophy. Yes, maybe it's not the biggest trophy out there, but it's another trophy in the trophy cabinet. If they do win it, it's another thing to say that they have the ability to go far in these types of tournaments, and it's only more positivity going into the Euros. So I think obviously Euros right now is number one. I would say this is obviously the second, the second thing on the list, but and then right after that is World Cup. So they have a lot of trophies up in the air this next year, 2 years. So it's gonna be exciting. I hope that because this group, I think, is pretty united. I know we've mentioned many times that there's not many players that play on the same team, so they might not have that chemistry, but. You listen to post-game interviews, you listen to just the way they talk about this core group that Mancini has, more or less, and you can see the brotherhood. You can see that they love to play with each other. The smiles on the faces. So I guess that comes with also winning. But yeah, like I said, I think this tournament shouldn't be taken lightly, and I hope for the best and obviously a win.
So yeah, as you mentioned, so World Cup qualifying in March. Euros in June, World Cup qualifying back in September, and then Nations League in October again. So a lot of soccer left to be played, but personally, I'm really hoping. Winning is always nice. Obviously, we want them to win the Euro, and as I mentioned, because Italy won today, they were automatically chosen as the host for the semifinals, third place final. And final, because Italy, Netherlands, and Poland all submitted a bid and said whoever wins this group is gonna take it. We got a question on social media, the famous question. from the footy culture. Can the Azzurri be considered favorites at Euro 2020?
I don't think so. We're strong contenders. We're severely underestimated, but I wouldn't consider us favorites to win. As much as I want them to win, as much as I'll be supporting them to win, it's hard not to beat France. It's hard to beat the quality that France can field. We're not that far from them, but right now they're one of the best teams in the world, and you can't argue against that. So I would consider France the favorites, but we're definitely a top contender for the championship.
Yeah, listen, footy culture. That's a tough question to ask. I know it's always on social media, these types of questions. What I can say is that Italy has made a lot of steps forward from the big disaster that we were in, but prior to this. So that is exciting. That is positive. Steps in the right direction for the Azzurri. And would they be favorites? I don't know, because there are a lot of good nations out there. Gianni mentions the France's, the Spains of the world, the Portugals, maybe even the Englands, Netherlands.
Germany.
These are Germany, Belgium. These are a lot of nations that can do some damage, right? So I think we got to manage our expectations. Not go in there saying, okay, if we don't win it all, it's a bust. I think this, like I said, this nation has come a long way from the shits of the man I won't speak about, and it's really tough because deep down in my heart I want to say yes, but if we want to play, if we want to call a spade, call the shots right. I think we shouldn't. I don't think we're the favorites, but I think we can surprise a lot of people and we can do a lot of damage. And in these tournaments, you do need a bit of luck and things to go your way. So if that can happen, I'm definitely confident in our guys, to get results and never know, maybe to win the trophy as well.
Yeah, I agree with both of you. I don't see them. I definitely don't see them as favorites. In my heart, I'm going to be cheering for them all the way come June. But I think, if there's one thing we've learned in 2020 is there's so much unpredictability. We are going to predict our Euro 2020 squads later, but saying this, I think a lot of these major tournaments comes down to a lot of luck, injuries. If a country's missing out on a star player due to injury, who knows in June? We don't know if there's still going to be COVID, what the situation is going to be like. Players could be missing because of COVID, this and that. So there's a lot of unpredictability, but for sure there's a lot more powerhouses. We got a question from our friend Joseph. I know you guys are on Team Caputo, but I'm jumping on the Moise Keane train. Thoughts? First, I'll start off. You know what? I could, I'd be happy to see Keane on the team for sure. He's had a really good start with PSG. Ken.
Keane. I don't know.
Ken. Sorry.
Ken. I think it's Ken.
I'm saying
Ken.
Keane.
That's what they say in Italy. Yeah. He's had a really good start with PSG. You know what? PSG, they treat their Italians well. Florenzi looks good. He, last year was a really bad year.
Rebirth over there so far.
Yeah. Last year was a really bad year for Florenzi going to Valencia.
Yeah, but who knew that playing a player would actually help him out and be in good shape? Gee, I don't know. Who knew? How would that work out? I should have played it. Anyways, continue. Continue, Nicholas. Sorry for interrupting.
All good, Gianni. I know you're a huge Florenzi fan. He actually started as captain both games, so I'm really happy to see that.
That was nice to see. A bit surprising.
Yeah, but I mean, they were missing a lot of key players too. But like about Ken, in PSG they treat their Italians well. He's looked good so far, and I think he's a versatile player. I think he could be one of those like super subs. He could come on 100%. As a striker, come on as a winger. So depending how the season goes with PSG, I'd love to see Ken come on, join the squad too. But I don't know if you could compare Ken and Caputo, because when Ken has played, he's played as a winger instead of a striker for Mancini. Yep. So that's maybe what Mancini would look at him more as. But hey, why not? You could have both. That'd be fun to see as well.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think yes, we do have we will admit we do have our Chicho Caputo bias here on the Calcio guys, but I wouldn't say we forgot about Keane either, because we've mentioned his name before. He's gotten the call ups. He's looked good, like Nick has said, and he's just an exciting, talented young Italian player. So I think that he can bring a spark in both roles. I know, like Nick just mentioned, we've seen him more on the wing. And he's super fast and has all the skills, has all the talent, can take the man one-on-one, which I like. So, his delivery, crossing the ball, is all right as well. But I would like to see him up front as well. I could see him in both roles, wherever. The way I look at it is that whatever's working, whatever's hot, you go with. And if it's Keane on the wing, if it's Keane up top, if it's Keane on the left, who knows? Because he can play all three positions, right? So yes, we're on the Chicho Caputo train, but I think the Keane train too is pretty full, and hopefully both of them can see their spots with this Azzurri in the Euro 2021.
I mean, I've always been on the Ken train ever since he pretty much carried Italy to, what was it, the Euro 21 finals in 2018?
Yeah.
Was it 2018, the Euro 21 finals?
But I think it was the U20 World Cup?
Yeah, they lost to Portugal in the final, if I'm not mistaken.
That was, I think, 2017? Oh, I'll look that up right now.
Yeah, but he was basically like the number one reason why Italy even reached the final. Like, watching him play, the guy was a class above the others on the field. Unfortunately, then he was, I guess you could say, he was a bit too ahead of the team, that they weren't really following the flow of him. But it's fine. These U21, U20 championships and whatnot, like, they're nice to win. Just because like that you can get hope for the future, but it's not a determining factor of what's to come. But I digress. Ken is mostly the guy that I've always been supporting. I'm not hating on Caputo, but you can hop aboard that train. I'm on it too, so we can be passengers together on that train. Choo choo.
That's it. I totally agree.
Good transition, Gianni. I think you read my mind, because the U21s also played this week. This is a team that was, ravaged by COVID last time out. They had to get matches rescheduled. They even called up like a B squad in case players had COVID, and they qualified for the U21 Euros, beating Luxembourg, and they beat Sweden today against Luxembourg. I believe it was 4-0. Scamacca 2 goals today against Sweden. Raspadori 2 goals. Scamacca another goal. So they play. I like this. They played the group stage of this tournament. It was supposed to be. It was originally supposed to be played in June, and because the Euros got pushed there, this had to get pushed earlier. So they play the group stage in March, during the international break in March. And then they play the quarterfinals, semifinals, and finals a week before the Euros. So there could be players who play in both tournaments. I don't know if, in Italy's case, they would be doing that. I think, out of the U21 team, there's, players... players that are under 21 that have made it to the national team, they're national team players. They're not going back down. So, but still, it's an exciting time for those guys. I feel like they always qualify for the U21 Euros, and they always choke. But that was under Di Biagio. This time it's going to be under Nicolato. And, that's another tournament. I always want the Azzurrini to win, and it's good for the future too.
Absolutely. We always say, we love our young Italian talent. Sometimes it doesn't always pan out well with, the club sides, because, Italians have no patience. So, they see something doesn't go right with, their young stars, they shut them out. Right. So, it's good to see, the Azzurrini, like you said, come together, do well. Some bright spot names, like you mentioned, Scamacca. I believe the Genoa man, Scamacca, looking good up top there. And listen, there's a lot of back and forth. Who's the number 9? We have a number 9 problem. maybe, I don't know, Scamacca, maybe coming from the ruins, slowly from U21, maybe he'll make his way up eventually to the national team and score some big goals for Italy. But being a bit more realistic, it's just exciting to see because we've come out, like I said, from the shit that we were in, and it's good to see that we have this depth. It's good to see that we have players coming up, making a name for themselves internationally with their club sides as well. So, me personally, I love it. Gianni, I don't know how you feel, but I'm a big fan.
By the way, just a heads up, it was the U19 Euro Cup that they lost in the finals to Portugal. 2018, my bad. So it was a stacked team. Speaking of Scamacca, he was on the roster. There was Zaniolo on the team, Can on the team.
Wow. Tonali.
Pretty good. Yeah, I was just looking up the information. That's why I seemed like I zoned out there for a bit. So it was relation to the Euro 21 tournament right before the Euro Cup, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly speaking, any players that are going to be considered for the national team that Mancini's going to be like 100% set on, he's going to say no. I don't think he's going to risk them being injured, especially if he considers them key players, that he's going to let them be available for the U21 roster. It's not a big deal. I mean, like, if some players, they might consider that unfortunate because they'll get a starting spot on the Euro 21 roster, whereas the Euro Cup, they'll be on the bench or part of the subs or even reserves. But at the end of the day, I think players care more about the bigger international tournament than the smaller scale one. So, and if you're on the Euro roster already, you don't need the development that's provided by a U21 team. If you're going there, it's just to be an extra piece. You're not going to be there because it's going to benefit you in any way. You're just going to be there to guarantee a win. But I think in the grand scheme of things, a Euro Cup is bigger for them than a U21 Euro Cup.
Yeah, for sure. By the way, some of the players that are still eligible for that U21 team, Locatelli, Donnarumma, Pellegrini, Bastoni, Tonali, Pietro Pellegrini, Moisken, Nicolo Zaniolo. Yeah, that's it. It's
Tonali was also on that roster too.
Yeah, it's technically called U21, but players are allowed to be up till 23 years old because it's considered 21 when the qualifiers start. We got another question, speaking about Zaniolo, from Quattro Stelle, or Four Stelle, I don't know how they pronounce it, if they go all Italian, English Italian, maybe they just say four Stelles or something, English. But do the Azzurri miss Zaniolo?
Johnny?
The Roma expert.
Every team missed Zaniolo, both Roma and the Azzurri missed Zaniolo, but because the thing is, Zaniolo has the flexibility of playing on the right, or if you want to use him in the midfield, you can use him there too. That's where he's so dynamic. When we're making our rosters before, I myself was having difficulty on where I would place Zaniolo himself. I already have a personal bias towards the center attacking mid spot. I like him more in the middle because of his speed, but also the speed can be very helpful on the right wing if they want to use him there. But I mean, like, yes, they do miss them. They do miss Zaniolo. But it's not the end of the world if they don't have Zaniolo. We have the quality to kind of make up for his absence. I'm not trying to, like, he's fantastic. Don't get me wrong. Like, I would take Zaniolo on the team any day, but it's not the end. It's not like he is such a crucial player that our team is significantly weaker without Zaniolo. That's what my 2 cents are on it.
Yeah, no, even just to bounce off your point, I mean, again, it wasn't against the top nations, but we got results without Zaniolo, right? We've gotten results without, some other players too. So I don't think he is the only player that, makes the difference for this team, but he's definitely an integral part of the puzzle. And I obviously, maybe Roma maybe misses him more than maybe the Azzurri. I don't know, but... But yeah, no, I think, like I said, we've gotten results without Zaniolo. Would I take him on the team? Absolutely. That's not even a question. I personally am going to probably agree with Gianni and say that I would prefer him in the trequartista role behind the strikers or behind the striker, to feed that final ball in the final third, that where we've looked sometimes a bit lost and a bit not clinical enough. So, And just because I think we have the guys on the right-hand side that can do the job as well, right? So, I say that they don't. Yes, maybe they miss him, obviously, because he's a big part of the squad. But I don't think not having him there is like a full-on panic mode, and we need to worry and whatnot, because, like I said, we've gotten the results without him.
Yeah, I definitely agree with both of you, and I think that says a lot about our team too. It's
the depth that we finally have.
And I think it's also the 4-3-3. It's if Mancini, decided early on, okay, we're going to build a squad around Zaniolo, let's say, and he went maybe like a 4-3-1-2, where you have Zaniolo as that attacking mid. I don't think there's another player who could really play that role as well as he would have had as that attacking mid. Maybe Pellegrini, but putting Zaniolo as a right winger, where you have a lot more depth, with Berardi, with Bernardeschi, Chiesa could play on both sides. Chiesa's going to be playing left side this year with Italy, so it'll be interesting to see, come March, if Chiesa plays with the national team, then where he would play. But I think it says a lot about depth, and obviously, like you guys said, it's a team. It's a bonus having Zaniolo, especially right now for the Nations League games. But without him, it wasn't the end of the world. They still played well. I guess that'll bring us to our squad predictions. You guys want to do that now? We'll do our squad predictions.
Oh shit!
Sure.
Oh shit!
So we set some rules. So we got to follow the 4-3-3 of Mancini. We're pretending as if we're like consulting Mancini to call up a squad in June. We're not taking into consideration current injuries. We're pretending fast forward to June, everybody's healthy, everybody is available. 23 players, 3 of which have to be goalies. Sorry, Adreano, I know you don't like that rule, but it's a rule. You got to bring 3 goalies. And we put an extra. So when a team names players for the World Cup, they name 30 players as a preliminary roster and then cut it down to 23. They don't have to do that for a Euro, but we're going to do it this time. 7 players, because it's so far away, in case of injury in a hypothetical world. Let's just go one by one. Give us your entire squad and then your reserves.
Would you rather do that, or would you rather do position by position?
We always do
I like how
position
we're
by
discussing this on
position.
the air.
Let's change it up this time. Let's do it entire squad.
Excellent. Okay, Nick, take it away.
Okay. So the goalies, Donnarumma, Sirigu, and Silvestri from Verona. Defenders, Emerson, D'Ambrosio, Acerbi, Romagnoli, Bonucci, Florenzi, and Di Lorenzo. In mid, Verratti, Jorginho, Barella, Pellegrini, Locatelli, and Zaniolo. And then up attacking, Chiesa, Insigne, Immobile, Bellotti, Caputo, Berardi, and Bernardeschi, with my reserves as Bastoni, Chiellini, Tonali, Cristante, Ken, Orsolini, and Lazzari. One thing I will say, I was really debating on 2 positions. Center back, I only chose 3 center backs, and I left out Bastoni and Chiellini because, in all honesty, I don't think Chiellini's going to play in the Euros. He's faced too many injuries. He's getting up there in age. It sucks. I think, if he's healthy by then, it would be great to have him, have that leader, a guy who's played in, I think 2 World Cups, and 2 Euros. But I just don't know if he's going to be healthy by then. And realistically, Acerbi, Romagnoli, Bonucci, they could do a good job. But I'm only taking 3, taking more players elsewhere. So hopefully no one gets hurt in a hypothetical tournament. And then I took Bernardeschi over Orsolini just for that tad bit of experience, because it is a pretty young team already. So taking Bernardeschi over a young Orsolini just kind of gives that. I don't know. Was Bernardeschi on the Euro 2016 team? I'm trying to remember now. I think he was. I think he was.
He was.
There's not a lot of players from that team, so it it gives that veteran presence. But I definitely put Berardi as starter, and then I did include Caputo just as a third striker. If you're going to bring 3 goalies, you might as well bring 3 strikers as well. So
Gianni, what are you working with?
Well, I'm just trying to look up the Bernardeschi fact, but I think he was.
I'll find that.
It was wearing number 20, I think, if I remember, or maybe not.
Yeah, he was. He was there. Yeah. Okay, so pretty much in goaltending, I guess we all had the same idea. Donnarumma's guaranteed starter, and I brought Meret and Sirigu because I think that pretty much Meret is a guaranteed number 2. Sirigu has been slipping a bit, but the man has been strong for a while now. For defense, I brought a crap ton of CBs. I brought Emerson because since it is a 4-3-3. Emerson on left. I have Chiellini, Bonucci, Romagnoli, and Acerbi. And on the right, you got also Di Lorenzo and Florenzi. I wanted to probably maybe bring Criscito as another left back just in case Emerson, God forbid, something were to happen to him. But I think maybe one of the center backs can, if they need to be, adjust to the left side. But that's where my only question mark was. Mid was pretty straightforward for me. Verratti, Jorginho, Barella, Sensi, because when Sensi's in form, he's fantastic. Zaniolo and Pellegrini. I feel like as if the midfield is a great mix of speed and control. These players here have great stamina. They have great sense. They know how to handle the ball well, and yet they can explode at any moment. And that's what I love about Italy's midfield. It's very fluid, and it's for a while now we haven't had a midfield this strong. And it's crazy how you could just interchange so many different names that just kind of barely make the cut that recently have brought up some form. For strikers, I brought Insigne and El Shaarawy because I feel El Shaarawy is probably going to be the left side replacement for Insigne in case they need it. Because we don't have that much strong depth on the left, but anybody can play left if they want to. But I don't like players playing on their off foot. For strikers, obviously, you have Immobile, Belotti, and Caputo. And then for the right, you got Chiesa and Berardi. You can even put Berardi in the... Does Berardi ever play in the middle?
No, he's the right winger.
No.
Yeah, so there you go. So yeah, on the right you got Berardi and Chiesa. My reserves are Buffon because a friend of mine, Steven Yasenza, asked the question if Buffon should be brought up just as a sign of respect for his last Euro. Maybe as a third string, but I think when it comes down to the end of it, if you want to win, these nice little things are nice, but still, you gotta think if both goalies are down, who's going to be your guy? Criscito and Bastoni, Tonali, Bonaventura has been playing a bit better. I think he might pick up. And for strikers, you could have interchanged so many players. I put Petagna because he brings something different in terms of all the other strikers. He brings a brute force. He brings strength. He brings a big presence on the field. I'm not a big fan of him, but you do need variety. You need to have all tools and assets available. And you know what? I threw Bernardeschi a bone. He has been picking it up lately. He has been picking up his form. So as a reserve, I put him there. But who knows? Maybe he might actually be brought up to the main roster, not as a reserve.
Yeah, no, it's great picks. And so I guess I'll go. And for myself, goalkeepers, like Gianni said, Nick said, a lot of the same names. My boy Gigione, Donnarumma, number 1 guaranteed, alongside Sirigu and Meret, just like Gianni. For defense, so yeah, we had to stick to the 4-2-3. So Emerson Palmieri, Acerbi, Romagnoli, Florenzi, alongside also Di Lorenzo, Bonucci, and that's it. Sorry. Mids, Barella, Jorginho, Verratti, Locatelli, Zaniolo, and Pellegrini. Barella, for me, is a beast. He's that box-to-box midfielder. He can do all the work. He goes up as well, gets in on the counterattack, and just the attacking play as well. He's just been that guy. I think that's been so complementary to the other mids that we have. And finally, I feel like I mentioned before, we finally do have that depth with the squad, but definitely in the midfield as well. So, and then in attack, Insigne, Immobile, Berardi, Chiesa, Belotti, Keane, and Ciccio Caputo. I think I'm just banking off the fact that I hope that whatever is hot right now is going to stay hot and is going to work come this tournament, because sometimes it doesn't matter what the name is, who the guy is. Sometimes if you're hot, it's hot. You're hot, and you can make a lot happen in these types of tournaments. And I hope that Keane can bring that spark. I hope that Caputo can continue to score. I don't know if he's going to solve our number 9 issue with Immobile and Belotti, but I definitely think he adds another element to our attack. I'm obviously rooting for Immobile. I think he should be getting the start as our number 9. I hope that he can finally deliver and really prove the naysayers wrong, because I'm a fan of Immobile. Just want to see a bit more transition with the national team and being a bit more clinical. And I think that there's many talks about these attackers don't score because we don't give them put them in good spots, have the quality to set them up as well. I think we do have that. It's just about being consistent and getting getting the plays that we want, and just that chemistry and that bond that this nation needs. So I think we have the quality to set up our strikers, and I think it's going to be crucial. And on to the reserves. Bastoni has been a bright spot in the back. I think he's made a huge step forward for the national team right now, with Inter on club level as well. I'm going to include Spinazzola because he's been a bit of an interesting guy on the left flank that I think can bounce off with Emerson Palmieri. To bring in that final ball, that cross on the left-hand side. Tonali, I'm going to bring in Orsolini as well. Another guy I've praised a lot on this show, Gaetano Castrovilli. I think he needs to get in there because, like we mentioned before with Zaniolo, I think they play the similar position. Tadeko Artista behind the striker can feed that final ball, and I think he can be integral part to our success. So I'm putting them in there, and then El Shaarawy and Bernardeschi as well get a nod for me. Two guys that have been around the block, and have gotten some flack, and that when on form can really perform. So I hope they do so in this Euros and maybe even to the World Cup the year after. But yeah, that's my squad, and it was fun playing a little bit of vice GT for Mancini.
It's crazy how we all have varied answers and stuff, and there's no player that doesn't really have that's a no type of slot. It's hard. It's such a toss up. I find we can actually field a squad A and a squad B, and it feels good to actually see that for the national team that we have enough depth to field a second team if needed.
Yeah,
in my eyes.
I quickly looked. Quite a few players that were named on all 3 teams: Donnarumma, Sirigu, Emerson, Acerbi, Romagnoli, Bonucci, Florenzi, Di Lorenzo, Zaniolo, Pellegrini, Barella, Jorginho, Verratti, Chiesa, Insigne, Immobile, Belotti, Caputo, and Berardi. And we all 3 of us had Bastoni and Tonali as our reserves. So I think those are 2 young guys, depending on their season. But I love the way Bastoni played these 2 games. Let's do
that meme. That meme. Sorry, just to bounce off on Bastoni. The meme. I don't know if it was the auto goal, but for Lewandowski in the pocket of Bastoni, that was just priceless. I totally agree with you, Nick. He's really stepped up, like I said, and I remember this being a talking point in the past, but he's really stepped up, and I think we gotta eventually we're gonna have to move on from the old guard, right? That's why I didn't include Chiellini. Hesitant about the snake Bonucci, if I got to be really honest.
Yeah.
But yeah, eventually we're gonna have to move on from these players, and I don't see why we can't do that right now. So Bastoni for me definitely looking good.
Yeah, young players like Bastoni and Romagnoli, and then the older guy like Acerbi have definitely given the opportunity to talk about going past the old guard. I think, like I said, I think unfortunately Chiellini is probably the first one out. I think Bonucci still has a spot on this team, but again, it depends what's going to happen in June. But
sure.
Gianni, your friend Steven, so he asked the question: should Italy call up Buffon as their 3rd goalkeeper out of respect for the Euro? I mean, you already answered it. You have him basically as your 4th keeper, but I think I think he's done with the national team. I think that 3rd keeper should be someone young, someone who just goes for experience, learns already your starting keeper is young. Donnarumma. The guy's 21. The guy's still 21 years old.
Forever 21.
Forever 21. You like that?
He's going to be 22 by the time the Euros come around. And then you got the veteran in Sirigu, who's forever the second goalie for the national team. So, that you got both of you guys have Meret. I have Silvestri. I mean, that could really be anybody. I don't know. I just don't think. I don't even think Buffon would accept, to be honest.
I don't know if he would accept or not. I don't know. Like I said, and like I'm going to probably stick with. We got to get over this. The memories and all that, and we have to go into the future. And the passing of the old guard has to happen. Buffon, I don't think. I don't know. Yes, okay, maybe for respect, but I don't think he belongs on the squad. You say like you go in these tournaments, you need that veteran experience, but I think we got it already in our squad, and I would probably agree with you, Nick. I don't think he would. I don't think he belongs in the squad, and I don't know if that was ever a talking point within the Azzurri, anyway. So yeah, I'm gonna agree with you as well.
You guys want to do MVPs and yellow cards of the week? We have pretty limited selection, but we'll still do it.
Yeah, go for it.
Gianni, you take it away.
All right, so I didn't want to go with the obvious for my MVP as Lorenzo Insigne. I didn't want to go for the bias here, but I went for the other Naplodan. I went for Donnarumma. 2 clean sheet, 3. No, did he play the Estonia game? I'm blanking out on that. I don't think he played the
Sirigu played.
Yeah, so there. But either way, there was a stat that was crazy. Like ever since Mancini took over the national team, the kid has had 15 clean sheets.
Yeah, in like 20-something games. Or
27 games. It was something ridiculously high. And 2 of which were in the past 2 games that he started in. Kid has been fantastic for us when we needed him. He's matured greatly in the role, and he's only 21. So imagine that. Like, there's still a lot of room to grow. He just needs to. He just needs to get a little bit better with the foot control. But he has. He's gotten way better. So it's like he's gotten more better, bro. He's gotten more better.
This guy's been 21 for so many years, bro.
This guy 21. Can't even club at Mumbas, bro. What the hell?
That's old school.
But shout out to even though he's not Italian, Szczesny in the Poland game, he did a lot of great saves for them to keep them in. So even though like it's a non-Italian, I'll give him a shout out. Too. Yeah, no, but the thing is, he knew the Italian team very well. Yeah. He was reading all their shots. He knew their plays. But still, he had to make those saves, and he did.
Bernardeschi almost scored on him.
Yeah, but that was a close one too. And my yellow card is basically going towards the Italian offense because they did capitalize on chances, but a lot of them were, the rest of the majority were poor quality. They need to sharpen up their skills because when it comes down the line, we discussed this in the group chat earlier, but it's still a point to be said. When we play against the tougher nations. We can't have this poor quality offense. We need to score when we get these 1 or 2 opportunities because they're not going to come as often as they were coming for the Nation League games.
This is definitely going to be another yellow.
One thing I will say about the offense, if/when Italy gets eliminated from the Euros, 99%, I predict it's going to be blamed on the offense. There's no defense problem. There's no goalkeeping problem. There's definitely not a midfield problem. I think right now the offense is the Achilles heel of the Azzurri, and it will either be the reason why they go out and win Euro 2020, or it's still officially called Euro 2020, by the way, or it'll be the reason they get eliminated. There's no in between. It's not going to be on anybody else. Adreano.
Yeah, unfortunately, I agree. It would be a shame, and it better not be solely on Immobile because I don't want to hear it anymore. Enough's enough. But on a brighter note, for my MVP, I guess me and Gianni swapped places this week, and he went for my boy. I'm going to go for his boy, Lorenzo Insigne, like he mentioned earlier.
And then there's me. You know the SpongeBob meme where like Squidward's looking at SpongeBob and Patrick play outside?
Yeah.
That's me right now.
Yeah, exactly. And that's spot on. But yeah, Lorenzo Insigne, like I mentioned, like Gianni mentioned earlier as well, he's just been another addition to that leadership in this squad. I think he is one of, if not our best or probably most talented, player, especially in the attack. He just looked good over these international breaks. The one knock I'm going to have to say, because I agree with what Gianni said, and our boy Jan in the WhatsApp group chat as well. Missing some of his chances, and some chances that you want to say that he's gonna hit those more times than not, right? And in come the Euros, you need to put those away. Like Gianni mentioned, I'm not gonna steal his thunder, but those are very, very crucial, because against a tougher side, that could bite you in the ass real quick. But again, I think Insigne is having fun. He's producing so much. His touch is unbelievable. The assist today on the Belotti goal was just Insigne at his best. And I hope that carries over, because we need him. He's a big part of our offense, which, again, I probably will agree with Nick that will be the probably talking point if things hit the fan. But there's no leaving him on the bench no more. He's in the official lineup. He's in the squad. He's the main man, me this week. And just as of late, MVP Lorenzo Insigne.
It's a late challenge, surely maybe the first yellow of the match.
I accidentally clicked the yellow card audio clip, so you're gonna have to give your yellow card now.
Oh shit! For my yellow card,
professional guys.
Yeah,
well, it's because Gianni did it, and then in my head, I already had my mouse over the button.
You know what? I didn't really have a yellow card. Sorry.
No card, Adreano. No card this week.
I didn't know what to really pick. I agree with Gianni about the lack of being clinical. I mentioned that a lot on this show, because when we have the amount of chances that we do, and I don't care what club it is, what team it is, if you have those chances, you need to convert, because it's gonna eventually bite you in the ass. I find Belotti needs to step it up a bit as well. Yes, he got his goal today, but I think he still needs to get involved. The game prior to the Poland game, what the hell was he doing in front of the net like that to block off that Insigne goal? What the hell was he doing? You have to be more positionally aware. He needs to know where he is on the pitch. Sometimes he flanks off to the right and left. You're the main guy. You're the number 9. You got to be in front, leading the line. And yeah, just minor things for me. Yellow card this week, not being clinical. Belotti got to step up his game, but I hope he will. And I continuously put my confidence in our attackers.
He was just trying to play like his idol, Alvaro Morata, by the way.
I guess.
Morata got another offside goal for Spain, and he scored again. So he had 2 goals, 1 ruled offside in Spain's 6-0 win.
6-0 trash.
Germany. I saw a meme that was like David Luiz crying. It was a picture of David Luiz crying and being consoled by Thiago Silva after they lost to Germany.
Germany.
Spain 6-0 Germany. Germany 7-1 Brazil. What would Spain Brazil be? Simple math, 13-1, but that's not true.
Quick maths.
Yeah, quick maths. Man's not hot. My MVP, I was originally going to go to Gianluca Scamacca going off the board, but neither of you guys took Berardi, so I had to take him pretty much. As we said, just how well he's played. 2 goals in 2 games, and he's playing with confidence. Him and Locatelli look good together. It was good to see them together on their home pitch in the Mapei Stadium against Poland. And so he's got to be my MVP.
Insigne looking for that little bit of space, looking to pick the pass here for Domenico Berardi. And Italy can smile now. They're going to the top of the group, and they're strong favourites now to win it.
And yellow card, lack of VAR in the Nations League. I think we've become so used to VAR, in Serie A and Champions League and other competitions, and we love to complain about it, but we don't know what we have till it's gone, right? You know the song, you know the saying, and it's seriously the case here. You know, it was pretty bad, the officiating against Poland. Poland, they got away with a lot. Some pretty dirty challenges. I know they still had the red at the with the second yellow, but there was a lot they got away with.
That was a dangerous tackle too.
Yeah, and
the
then
guy with the red
balls.
Insane.
Goralski, the two handballs. One of them, okay, to the ref seeing it, I understand it's a tough call to make. That's exactly why VAR is there to make those calls. But the second one, deal. The second one is so obvious. Even before VAR was around, that was a handball. I don't understand how he missed it. Good thing it didn't cost Italy anything. But it's kind of crazy that UEFA has such important tournament with top nations where all these nations already have VAR implemented in their leagues. There's VAR, and like I said, in Champions League, there's going to be VAR in the Euros. At least implement it for League A of the Nations League. I understand if you
at least, yeah.
I understand League B and down don't have it because of money and not as important, but League A with all these top clubs, you have to have it.
Yeah, I think sure, but this is a supplement to international friendlies. I mean, the Nation League is just a way to add some spice to international friendlies. It's just to give them a reason to have a little bit of extra motivation when they play against other nations. Besides that, at the end of the day, it's just a glorified friendly game. So I think that's their whole mentality behind it. They're like, okay, look, these are just replacements for friendlies. Do we need to put that much of an investment towards them or funding towards refs for them? Not really. It's not really necessary. It just gives just an added extra spark of excitement towards it. So I'll take the other side for this. I mean, for them not having VAR, it's not a big deal towards me because, like I said, in my eyes, this title, like to answer the question from before, if we win it, great. But I don't think it's their up there on the priority list. For them, the Euro Cup is up there on the priority list. This will be something like, oh, okay, we want it, fantastic. It's like Florenzi holding the tree,
the infamous tree. But no, I gotta agree with Nick though, because if they want to continue on with this VAR, it's in all these other competitions. For me, it doesn't matter what level of quality it is. It's still a major tournament. There's still a lot of top nations, top clubs, in this tournament. And if VAR is the future, we're already doing it now. I think it needs to be there because it's too much of in limbo. You're so used to it, so you think you're going to get the calls or at least have a safety blanket for these referees. Where Nick had mentioned the handball, they don't have that anymore. Now they have to step up their game even more. And if they do make those big mistakes, they'll get criticized even more. Which the Italians are going to do that, right? And I'll be the number one guilty party of that. So I think it's would need to be there. Obviously it wasn't there now. Maybe into the future, I don't know. But I think if this is the path and this is the future of the game, I think it needs to be there.
So moving on, Serie A is back. I was kind of bored this week. Not gonna lie, I was kind of bored without the Serie A. A
little bit of tears.
Yeah, exactly. I only had Italy to watch Sunday afternoon and football to watch, so didn't know what to do with my life for the rest of the time. And I'm gonna be right back and then go cry in a corner thinking about that. No, I'm kidding.
Might have to join you.
At a distance though, 2 meters.
Of course. Put your mask on.
Opposite corners.
That's it.
Serie A, I think it's match day 8. The big one, Milan, Napoli, or is it Napoli, Milan? I forget. Your teams. It's the only time it gets to happen besides Milan, Roma, because Gianni is a double fan. We can't forget that.
Yes.
Gianni's a fan of 10 different teams, 10 different players, 10 different this, 10 different. No, I'm joking.
True. Milan Roma was 3-3, so I guess you guys don't have bragging rights.
They're pointing Naples. I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
So the Napolitan and the Napolitan Donnarumma goes down to to play Napoli. Meanwhile, the Milan legend once again faces his former club. Should be a good game. What are you guys' predictions on that one?
It's going to be a tough game. It will indeed. Already Pioli, got the COVID. His doppelganger Morelli there, the assistant coach, got COVID as well. I'm going to give a shout out to our friend over at the Milan Club Philadelphia, Presidente Dave over there. He might have to slot in as coach. I don't know. That meme is priceless that he made over there. But yeah, I don't know. Back to reality, back to the seriousness. It will be a tough game. These are two teams, two clubs that are on a pretty good run right now. Their players are stepping up big time, and I think it'll be tough. I don't know who's going to be behind the bench on the touchline, and they're saying Lord Bonera, but I think Zlatan could do the job better than him. So
just call that
we'll just leave it.
Maldini.
Yeah, at that rate. But yeah, these are number 1, number 3 in the Serie A table right now, going head to head in Naples, and it's going to be tough. I hope that Milan can come out with a good performance. This international break. I don't know if it came at a good time, bad time for run of form, but I think they gotta come out back fresh. Hopefully everybody comes back negative. I don't want none of this COVID playing a big factor for any club for that matter coming out of international break, because it's very possible that could happen. On the other side, I know Osimhen. I think the news today, Osimhen is going to be out for the game with his injury that he picked up with Nigeria in that Sierra Leone match. So with a shoulder, I believe it ended up being, which for us it's a big plus there, and not having him being electric against us. But again, Napoli has the quality in attack, from all kinds of angles to be dangerous, right? But I think Milan's ready. I think Zlatan is ready, and I hope for the best for the game.
Some fun stats: in the 39 times that Napoli and Milan played, both Milan and Napoli have 16 losses. Napoli has the advantage on wins by 1, with 12 wins to 11 in the head-to-head. But 9 out of their 12 wins came at home. So, mind you, home field advantage is not really applicable during COVID. No.
Oh, Gianni froze.
Yeah. So, but goals for at home for Napoli significantly higher, for 32 compared to 20 to Milan on the road. So, I like to give a slight edge to Napoli, but this is a Milan that is very resilient. They're capable of digging deep to get a result. Napoli still has the punch up front. Mertens has been phenomenal in all competitions. Even internationally, he's been doing well for Belgium too. And what Adri said, the flexibility that Napoli has on offense is fantastic. I'm thinking a 2-2 draw.
Yeah,
to be fair,
I didn't get my prediction, but listen, against any team, I want to win, absolutely. And I think this is a big win, especially when Milan and Napoli are in the standings. This win can just put them even further ahead. So the 3 points is huge. If it does end in a draw, I like the Verona match. I'm taking that 1 point, that draw, and running. But I don't know. I'm gonna say probably. I'm going to say maybe a 3-2 Milan, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's the 2-2 draw, like Gianni just mentioned, because these two teams can score, these two teams can create, and these two teams can come back from adversity, right? So, and two of the two young bright spots, in the back, when Donnarumma and Meret. So, it's going to be a good game, but I'm going to say the win, but I wouldn't be surprised for the draw as well.
I'm hoping neither team shows up, and each team gets a 0-3 at Tavolino and a -1. That would be perfect for Juve.
Typical Juve fan.
Wait, let's see. Juve's in 5th. Look at that. Imagine if you guys didn't get that forfeit win. You guys would have 10 points. That would probably put you in the 10th.
We still would have won.
Are you sure about that?
100%.
Are you sure about that?
Napoli lost to the first letter in the alphabet and the last letter in the alphabet. EZ. They lost to the alphabet.
Z. Like
Yeah,
Amazon,
but they dominated that game. They had 76%
They lost.
possession. They had 20
1-0.
shots, 4, 13 were on target. It's just they just couldn't finish.
0-1.
It was that
0-1.
one off game.
That's the important score.
It's like the typical. That's like the typical. You dominate your opponent in FIFA, but they still manage to win after all the shots, after all the creation that you make.
It's
You're
rigged.
still in the boozing. That was that match.
It was like the Bruins going up against Carey Price. They would dominate the game. Carey Price would have 50 saves. The Habs would win 2-0 because of fucking I don't know, bouncy puck went in or something, or grinding in front of the net and he just shoved it home.
What other games are on top? I like that Verona Sassuolo match.
There's nothing really exciting.
I like that Verona Sassuolo match.
That's a good one.
That's going to be a tricky match.
Roma Parma, I feel like is always a good match. Fiorentina Benevento, all right. There's really nothing special. Spezia Atalanta. I want to see how Spezia is going to do in that one. Juve host Cagliari, a team that Juve lost to in July, so time for a little bit of a revenge.
Inter Torino could be interesting.
No, Torino. I don't know.
It's Torino.
Torino is Torino.
I'll be shocked. It historically, I feel like that's a good game. 2-3 years ago, but
right now, that's
I
tough,
said could be interesting.
Yeah,
no.
For sure.
You know what would be interesting? You know what's going to be interesting if Torino do pick up points in that game, what Conte's excuse is going to be. And I'm sorry to say it. I'm sorry to be the guy to say it. And, much love to our Interisti fans, but I want to see the excuse or what Conte is going to pull if that game ends on the wrong
international break.
Yeah.
Players back. Who tested? Somebody tested positive, I think, from Inter today. I don't even know.
Well, Brozovic had in the past. The name escapes me now, but I know Brozovic was one of the names. I don't remember who else it was.
Did Ambrosio? I don't know. I see it all the time. This player positivo all the COVID. Okay.
Was it Sensi? No, I don't remember.
That guy's hurt with other things, probably.
Yeah.
Anyways, that will do it for us here on the Calcio Guys. Different this week, no guests. We did a different segment, all about the national team, where we're all harmonious, agree with each other until we bring up Juve Napoli. Then things start to go south. No, I'm kidding, Jack. I love you anyway, my cousin.
No, absolutely.
I have to love you too.
It's forced because we're family. It's forced.
No, it's okay.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah, no, but like we opened the show with it's finally that one or those few times where we actually come together and maybe air hug and air celebrate these days, but at a distance, to celebrate with each other because we're so passionate about the national team. The Italian national team always brought good memories for us, or almost always brought good memories for us, and we'll stick with them through thick and thin. But great episode. Social media, where to catch us at the Calcio Guys on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook as well. Catch our fantastic podcast because we do such a great job. We're not professionals, but we do our best. Everywhere you find your favorite podcast platforms, catch our podcast there, and we'll be back next week to talk more Calcio.
Thanks for listening.
Ciao.
Bye.
The Calcio Guys is a weekly podcast by Adreano DiNardo, Gianni Della Colli, and myself, Nicholas Di Giovanni. We want to bring Calcio back to its roots in our communities and share stories from around the world about why we're passionate about the beautiful game. You can listen to us anywhere where you listen to your podcasts, including Spreaker, Google Podcasts, iTunes, Spotify, iHeart Radio, and Mixcloud. Give us your opinion on social media at The Calcio Guys on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. The outro song is The Last Ones by Jazar.